So I've moved on, and I'm on the second page now. We're going to have to try and find arc lengths, and arc lengths are easy to find if you know circumference, because an arc is a part of that whole distance around the circle, and it gets cut out by some sort of central angle. And so we need to relate that angle to 360 degrees, because all the way around is 360 degrees. And if this cuts an arc, because we're going to talk about DE, it cuts an arc of 120 degrees, which is a third of the way around the circle, or we'll talk about it in those terms. So not only can we define an arc by its central angle, but we can, if we know the measure of the radius or the diameter, we can then find out its actual distance around the circle by using this formula. And the formula says that arc length is equal to the measure of the central angle of the arc divided by 360 and multiplied by the circumference formula of the circle, which is 2 times pi times the radius. Or if we're given a diameter like in number 2, we'll use pi times the diameter, because why cut the diameter in half and then multiply it by 2 if you've already been given the diameter? Pi times the diameter gives you the circumference. So I've shown you here how to get from one end to the other end and get an actual value for it. And I'm going to show you one quick way to make your life easier, hopefully. And if it doesn't make your life easier, then just keep doing it the way you're doing it using a calculator. It'll get you from point A to point B, or point D to point E, as it were. So we want to talk about, it's an arc actually, and arcs are actually curved. I want to find the length of arc D. So the length, DE, the length is equal to that central angle divided by 360, that central angle compared to the whole circle, 360, times the radius. And they give you a radius of 2 meters. All right, so it's a 120 degree arc over 3 out of 360, and the radius is 2 meters multiplied by 2, that's 4. 4 times pi, or 4 times 3.14 is 12.56. And now all we do is multiply our numerators, multiply our denominators, and then do some division. So 120 times 12.56 is 1507.2. Divide that by 360 and you get 4.19 meters. Now, if you don't like big numbers like that, if you want to use smaller numbers, let's see if we can simplify this ratio here of 120 to 360. Well, yes, 120 times 3 gives you 360, so I can reduce this. I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 120, and I come out with a ratio of 1 to 3. Okay? These two things are exactly the same. If you can do that in your head, or if you find a way to do that, it's totally fine. You can simplify now. I'm just multiplying 1/3 times 12.56, or 12.56 divided by 3 is what I wrote down here after I found my third. And guess what? It gives you the exact same number. So either way, I know this is a little bit, higher math thinking. Simplify it first and then do the math. I like simplifying first. I like finding numbers within numbers. But that's what makes me a nerd, and you not a nerd, I guess. Anyway, that's how you take care of that part of the solving. And that's the whole rest of the page is very much like that. Just take your time, move through the formula. If you get used to working with formulas like this, chemistry and physics are going to be super simple. Trigonometry is going to be a little easier. Dealing with pi in terms of pi a lot of the time. For my purposes, I would leave this in terms of pi, and I'd say it'd be 4 pi over 3, and that's a perfectly valid answer. No one likes it, apparently. in lower math or geometry because we want to find that actual value. Oh well, that's the way it goes. But that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. If I didn't see you in virtual class, then at least you have this and you can finish up on your own. Thanks.